Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, today we're going to be doing a spooky reading vlog. I'm going to be reading around 3 thrillers in this video. I hope you all enjoy seeing me read some spooky reads and getting the spooky vibes for Halloween. And yeah, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and let's get into it. The first book I'm going to be reading is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I am so excited for this. This is about a woman named Emma who is house sitting, and one night while she's house sitting, she reads this terrible book on her Kindle, on her e-reader, and she decides to leave a 1-star review, and the author ends up getting back to her and basically telling her, you need to take this down because I'm an indie author and you're going to be the reason why people don't pick up my book. And obviously, as a reader, you have the right to leave reviews on books, but this author is not having any of it. And then once this guy leaves this review, things start to go awry. Like, creepy things are happening in the house. She's all alone in an isolated area, and it's just making up for a really good environment and thriller. So I'm super excited to fully get into this. I just love like the books about books vibes, and the fact that this could actually happen is kind of scary. As a reader myself, like, imagine even just the thought of an author like getting back to one of your bad reviews of that book. So nerve-wracking. Like, you'd feel so bad. I am 100 pages into The Last Word. Get excerpts, I think that's the right word. You get parts of the book that he's writing about Emma, the girl who's house sitting, and it's just so thrilling and scary. I just think that's such a cool element, that it's literally a book about a book. The guy in it is writing about this girl and he's an author. Like, it's just so good. And also the fact that there's a dog in it makes it even scarier, because when he's trying to hurt the dog, it literally makes me want to scream. I forgot to say, but last night when I was literally reading this book, I was on the phone to my boyfriend, and he wasn't talking for like 5 minutes because he were sorting something out, and I was just reading my book while we were doing that, and he said hi, like he literally just said, I'm back. And when I tell you, I literally jumped because I was so focused on my book. And I was like so like intense, and I was just into it. And then when I heard him speak, I just literally jumped out of my skin because I was that on edge reading this book. So that just says how good the experience is. I have read a lot of this book this morning. I've read like 100 pages, so I'm well over halfway now. And this might be one of the best thrillers I've ever read, apart from Holly Jackson. I just don't think anyone can beat A Good Real Side to Murder to me. I just love that series so much. I did guess one of the plot twists that's happened. That was really easy to guess, to be honest. But I think there's going to be another twist because we've got like 80 pages still to go. But that twist was still a really good twist. I saw it coming, but I feel like you were meant to see it coming. It was pretty obvious. I wrote in my notes that I love how this book plays on tropes and makes fun of tropes and puts the main character in those tropes and in those scenarios. I think it's such a fun way to write a thriller, like essentially making fun of these tropes, but then when you're put in that situation, you make the same mistakes that people do in books. I just think that's so interesting. I just love it when books play on tropes and make fun of those things and make it into a story. It's just such a good way of telling a story. I don't know, I love it. Like, I love movies that do that as well. Like, I am freaking loving this so much, and also the vibes of this book. Like, the environment that this woman is in, just, it's got you like this. You feel like you're there with her, trying to like hide from this killer. Like, it's so good. And today, it's literally the perfect day for this book. It's raining, it's dark, it's gloomy outside. I feel like if I read it in one sitting, it probably would have been a 5-star. This is such a bingeable book, and I'm so annoyed that I haven't read it in one sitting. But I have read a lot of it today, so I've kind of done like most of it in one sitting. But the first 100 pages, I was picking it up, putting it back down, picking it up, putting it back down, because I have been a lot more busy in the past 2 days than I was expecting to be. So that's like got in the way of this video. But now that I'm free today, I'm just binging this book. I'm definitely going to pick up No Exit by Taylor Adams, because I know everyone absolutely loves that book. I think people actually prefer that one over this one, so definitely gonna pick that up. I'll probably read it next year though, because I have a lot of books I need to read this year, but I love this, and I feel like he's gonna become one of my favourite thriller writers, like Holly Jackson, because I just love the way he's wrote this book. Like, it's just so addictive, like so addictive. It's so fast paced, like I'm literally reading this so quickly. But yeah, we're gonna finish it now. I'm nervous. I just really hope Emma's gonna be okay, and also she definitely has like a big secret, and I can't wait to find that out. The author in this, H.D. Kane, gives me such heebie-jeebies. Like when he's talking to Emma, oh, makes me feel sick, some of the things he says to her, like, oh, disgusting. I just finished The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I did predict it was going to be a 5-star, but it's not a 5-star, but it is one of my favourite thrillers that I've read so far. I'm going to be giving it a 4-star. I did really enjoy it. I thought it was such a good thrilling story. Like, it kept me hooked. Every page I was just like, I need to know what happens. I was flicking through it, and I read the last, I think, 200 pages today. And I did not want to stop. Like, I was just so enthralled with the book and found it so intriguing. I loved the twists at the end. Like, I thought they were so good. And yeah, it was just really, really interesting. So, 4-star. And I really recommend this book for the spooky vibes. I just don't know if I can rate a thriller 5-star. I don't know. We'll see in this video because I'm going to be reading 3. But yeah, really, really recommend this. So, the next book I'm going to be reading is None of This Is True by Lisa Joel. I am going to start this today, maybe get like 100 pages in, but this is a bit of a chunky thriller. Like, it's, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, don't spoil it, don't spoil it, don't spoil it. It is 386 pages, which I feel like is really long for a thriller. Like, thrillers are usually like 300 pages at a push. This is literally 400 nearly, but it has got a big font, so it does make sense why it's a bit longer, and obviously it's a hardback as well. But I feel like it's going to be such a fast read because the font is absolutely massive. I love hardbacks in thrillers. Like, it's just so, it just does something to my brain. Like, the font is massive, it's super quick to get through, it is so satisfying. But yeah, we're going to be reading None of This Is True by Lisa Joel. Now, I don't fully know what this is about. The two female main characters meet on their 45th birthday at a local pub. One of them is a podcaster, and they both find out that they have the same birthday, and I'm pretty sure they're turning the same age as well. So they're like bonding over that, and then a couple days later they bump into each other again, and Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast, and she thinks she might be an interesting subject on this podcast because the podcast is like about women and their changes in life, and she feels like she'll be perfect for it. But Alex ends up agreeing to the interview, but Josie sort of ends up having like this weird obsession with Alex, I'm pretty sure. And it says here, Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep digging. Take these off because they always glare and it annoys me, but I am 56 pages into None of This Is True, and I am already really enjoying it. I feel like the setup for the story is really good, like the meet up between the two women, the build up to the podcast, and also I did know this, but I completely forgot. But this also has like installments of a Netflix show called Hi, I'm Your Birthday Twin, which is just such a cool element. Like, it's got podcasts in it, it's got a documentary in it. I just read something about one of the female main characters, and that just really makes me feel sick, especially the way the woman looks at the situation. Like, no, I did not like that at all. That really made me feel sick when I read that. I feel like this is going to be like a slow-paced horror, which I don't mind as long as it keeps me hooked. And one thing that makes me really nervous about this book is, I can't remember who it was, but I watched a YouTuber and they said that the ending of this is kind of like an ending where you have to like figure it out on your own. I don't love thrillers like that. I like things to be wrapped up. I like to have a straight answer. So I am a little bit nervous for that, but fingers crossed I do enjoy it. So far it's pretty good. So there's something really weird going on with Josie's daughters. Like, every time she goes to her daughter's bedroom door, she always says she can't put it off for much longer, but not now, not today, tomorrow, definitely. And like, whenever she goes to see her daughter in a room, she just always avoids it, and I'm like, it's really weird. Like, why does she not want to speak or see her daughter? It is actually the week after now. Sadly, this video's kind of failed. It was supposed to be like reading thrillers in a week, but I'm just going to make it into reading some of my most anticipated thrillers. And yeah, last week I just didn't have much time to read. I read The Last Word and started None of This Is True, and then it got to the weekend. The weekend just came by really quickly, and usually on a weekend I don't really get time to read at all. So yeah, but now it is Tuesday and we're going to read more of None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. So far I am 100 pages in. Not much is happening at the moment, but it does have a lot of intrigue. You're just basically following along with these two women in their everyday life and like them meeting up to do this podcast, but there is elements in it that are really intriguing. With Josie, every time she goes back to her house, she has like this weird thing with her daughter. I think I've said this before, and something went on with her two daughters. There's something going on there that's really confusing. Don't have a clue. And also Josie's life is very, very strange, and the things that have happened to her, she sort of doesn't acknowledge that her husband is what he is. Josie is kind of the main protagonist in this story, I'd say. She's definitely the most intriguing, but when these two characters are together, it is just so compelling. Every couple of chapters there's always like a little section like this that says, Hi, I'm Your Birthday Twin, a Netflix original series. You get like little hints to where this story's gonna go, and you get little like things that have happened but you don't know how you've got there. Yeah, it's really interesting, but it's just not that thrilling at the moment. It just has a lot of intrigue and questions, and I don't know if my questions are gonna get answered. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll probably update maybe when I'm like halfway through, so like 200 pages in, 250 pages in. Dust jacket always has to come off. Finished None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I know I said I was going to update it when I was like 200 pages in, but I could not put this book down. Like, it was phenomenal. I was so addicted to this story, and the way it all unravels is so crazy. Like, it's such a crazy story. It just gets crazier and crazier and crazier by the page. I did rate it a 4.5 stars. Was debating whether to give it a 5, but I'm not going to give it a 5. I'm giving it a 4.5 star because it was a really good book. It's just not a 5 star. I feel like if I'm questioning it, it's not a 5 star, you know. As I said earlier, I wasn't sure if I was going to love this book because of the ending. I knew that it was going to be like a ending where there's going to be loads of questions in the air. Doesn't have a solid ending. It leaves you with wanting more, but what I wrote in my notes was, it does end with so many questions in the air. I never thought I'd say this because I usually love my books to be wrapped up in a bow, but the way this ended made so much sense for the story and the family and the characters Lisa Jewell wrote. It made it that much more compelling, twisted and dark. I actually loved the ending, even though I was left wanting the truth. I also loved trying to figure out what to believe, but I still have absolutely no clue. No clue what I believe the truth is. I've just accepted that this book took me for a ride of twists and turns and I absolutely loved it. And the ending left me frustrated, but in the best way possible, if that makes sense. If you've read the book, you probably know what I mean by that. Like, you are left feeling like frustrated because you don't get a wrapped up ending, you want to know the truth. But as I said, it just makes sense for the story and makes it that much better. I actually bumped my rating up because it was originally like a 4.25, but I bumped it up because of the ending, surprisingly, because it just made it so good. Like, I don't know, I loved it. The last 200 pages of this were absolutely phenomenal. Like, crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, the first 200 pages were really good and had this like constant unease to them, and like you were constantly like curious of what was going to happen. It really kept you hooked. But the last 200 pages took you for a sick and twisted dark ride, and it was just incredible. 4.5, I really loved it. Loved the podcast element. I also listened to the podcast. There is like a thing that you can scan on your phone to listen to the podcast, and listening to that just sent chills down my spine, like instant goosebumps. Like, it was so weird. Made it feel that much more real. I thought The Last Word was going to be the winner of this video, but this one beat it by a mile, to be honest. Like, I loved this way more. Even though I did really enjoy The Last Word, this just hit the nail on the head. I really loved it. Next book we're going to be reading in this video is Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. I'm really excited for this one. I feel like it's going to be really quick as well. Thrillers just fly by like crazily fast when you're reading them because it's just got such a grip to them. This is about a mother who sees her son killing someone, and then the next morning, I'm pretty sure, she wakes up and it's like the day before or like a couple of days before, and she's got to try and like stop this from happening, but there's a constant time loop. She keeps going back and back in time, which just sounds so intriguing. There is people in my house right now like doing the windows and it's making me really nervous speaking to the camera, but you know, we've got to do it. I'm really nervous. I really hope they can't hear me, you know. I want to try and like at least get halfway today through this. If I could finish it, that would be great, but I'm not going to set myself up for failure. I do that a lot and it never happens. So yeah, we're gonna read Wrong Place, Wrong Time. This has been on my TBR for so long. It's gonna be so satisfying to get this off my TBR, to be honest, because it's been on there for freaking ages. I've wanted to read it for ages, but I've been waiting for the right time. So let's get into it. I really hope it don't disappoint me. Look what just arrived at my door. I literally can't stop smiling. A Curse for True Love, the third book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I got the Waterstones exclusive edition, and this hardback is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I love the way I've displayed it as well. Like, I put the original cover there and then the hardback there, because obviously I have to show this. I mean, come on. I can't believe I've got to wait till next week to read this book. I am happy that I'm reading the thrillers for this video, but oh, I really want to read this book, but I've got to wait. I am now 107 pages into Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and I'm actually really enjoying this. I think the plot makes up for such a fun story. It's not that thrilling yet, but I can't wait for it to get darker and for it to get more thrilling. I feel like it's going to be so good with the whole time travel aspect. Every morning she's waking up the day before, and then it's the day before, and then it's the day before, and she has to like try and convince people that she's not going crazy and that something is going on and she doesn't understand why, and like figuring out with her, what she needs to do to stop this time loop and what she needs to do to save her son is so interesting. Like, it's such a fun plot, and I do think it is going to get quite thrilling and dark, and I can't wait for that. It's not slow paced, but it's not a lot's happening yet, if that makes sense, but it is fast paced. At the moment I'm literally just with her trying to figure out these things, and not really anything thrilling's happening yet. So I feel like once those thrilling aspects kick in, it's gonna get really, really good. I'm gonna, I think, read to page 200, hopefully a little bit more, and then I will probably update you tomorrow. So I am now 302 pages into Wrong Place, Wrong Time. And I have sad news. This book is not working for me. Like, I am kind of bored reading it, which is so sad. Like, I just feel like the pacing of it's really weird, and I hate saying this because I know so many people love this book. It's got low thrilling aspects to it, and I think what it is as well with this book, I feel like I just don't care about the characters and the mystery. Like, I'm just kind of bored, and I feel like it's taking ages to get to the point. Like, I feel like this is way too long for what it is. It should have been a lot shorter, like 100 pages shorter, and I would have enjoyed it way more, because I just feel like I said, it's taking ages to get to the point. I just want to know, and I'm sick of waiting to find out like what is going on. Like, it does have very mysterious elements to it, but because I don't care, it's not intriguing to me, sadly. So it's kind of a drag to get through. I do only have 85 pages left, but I like my thrillers to be very twisty and dark, and this just isn't twisty and dark. Like, there's only been like one plot twist, one interesting one anyway, and other than that it's just not very twisty and turny like I like my thrillers, and I think that's why I'm not really vibing with it. It's just too much of a slow mystery for my liking. I only have 85 pages left, so hopefully it gets better. Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad book, it's just because I'm not connecting to the characters that I'm not really enjoying it. I feel like I understand why people do love this, because it does have a lot of intriguing elements, but like the reasons I just said, it's not intriguing to me personally. Books are personal, you know, and sometimes you just don't vibe with the book, and that's what's happening with me and Wrong Place, Wrong Time. What's so weird about this video is I thought The Last Word and Wrong Place, Wrong Time were going to be like the best books of this video, but no, none of this is true. Lisa Jewell came through and shocked me, and she got a 4.5, and she's the favourite of the video so far. So yeah, but we are going to finish this book today, and I'll let you know my updates when I finish. See if it's got any better, fingers crossed. Time to read this. Like, I'm not excited to read the ending. That's how you know that you're just not interested. But yeah, we're going to finish Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and I'm so conflicted on how I feel about this book, because I did enjoy like the first 50 to 100 pages, it was really good, but then like the middle it started to feel like a really long book. It is pretty long for a thriller, to be fair, and it was taking a while to get to the point. The pacing was a little bit weird to me, but then the ending where it all wraps up, I feel like everything in this book was important to that ending, but because I didn't connect to the mother and son relationship, that ending didn't really do much for me. But I can understand why that ending would hit so many people. Just personally wasn't for me. I love twisty and dark thrillers, and that's just not what this is. I feel like if I went into this book with different expectations, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but it is what it is. So I'm going to give it, I think I'm going to give it a 3. A 3-star. Not a bad book. My 3 stars kind of like, it was good, I just wasn't obsessed and I didn't love it. I liked it, I didn't love it basically, but yeah, still had a fun time in it. I still did enjoy the book, so 3 stars. I was hoping to find a 5-star thriller in October, but I don't think that's gonna happen. We read The Last Word by Taylor Adams, which I gave 4-star. Freaking loved this book, it was so good. Then we read None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder. The protagonist is really good. Both protagonists, like, I really enjoyed this one, so I gave it a 4.5 star. Lastly, we read Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which I gave 3 stars. Still really good, I just didn't love it. I wasn't obsessed, but yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this spooky vlog, and I hope you all have a fun Halloween weekend or a fun Halloween. I'm going to be sat at home watching movies because that's how I like to celebrate Halloween, and reading as well. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below your favourite thriller because I would like some thriller recommendations. I will see you all in the next one. I love you all. Bye!